All right, and welcome back to Going Corn, podcast all about the Leroy Wiffle Association. That's new since the last time we've changed our name, apparently. This is our off-season show, preview of the draft, some other things going on. I know it's been a while, but I'm back here with my co-host for another year. Caleb, welcome.
Greg, I just want to say thank you for reinstating me for another year. I know it was a little iffy. You were looking at other free agents to join you on the podcast. I was a little upset, but
yeah,
I'm glad ownership brought me back.
Yeah, the contract negotiations were very brutal, but we got you back here. So,
good to be back.
Yeah, it's a great season. Caleb won Player of the Year for NWLA, so very exciting. Yes, greatness on the show.
Yes,
to even out my horribleness. But
it was a big off season for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
We
today.
do.
Yeah.
We got some awards that we're going to talk about.
Uh-huh.
Tim did a lot this off season between the website revamp.
But did he really?
That's the question of the year. Did he really? No. Website revamped. It's going to look good. We're also making some serious changes to game day, televised games. You can stream from Amazon Prime, Netflix. No, I'm kidding. But
that's next step.
That's the next step. But yeah, there's a lot of new things that are going to be on there. And what do you know? We've got the commish himself in the building.
So yeah, we're first going to bring on Tim. He's going to tell us about some exciting new changes this year and some new committees going on and all that good stuff. So
Moonshine
welcome.
Free.
Moonshine will not be a sponsor of this podcast today. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, Greg. I missed that. I missed it a little bit.
I did too. Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Always a blessing. No moonshine today after last week's debacle, of course, but yeah, let's get into a couple of the committees that we got going on this upcoming season. We ended up expanding. To start, we got two vice commissioners this upcoming year that are going to help me out and kind of watch over the committees and help out in the specific committees. So, Caleb, right next to me, he's going to be one of the vice commissioners.
Yep.
And Brett Detmar. Both have been around all 4 years. Have been a big part of all 4 years, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Now, what made the decision to have two vice commissioners? Just because they both done so much for you? Is it just you think that they'll both help in their different ways? Like, what made the decision? Like, not just saying Brett or Caleb.
I think I wanted two, just for when we do some big time votes. I think it'll just be me and them two voting, and then we could outweigh each other, so one will win. I think there's some rumors going around. Brett and I might not be around next year, so someone else will fill that vice commissioner role, but I always want to have one commissioner and two vice commissioners in the near future, just to balance things out.
Good. All right, so what else is new? You mentioned committees. Let's maybe get into those. So how is that working now?
5 committees. That will be 5. There'll be 5 chairmans of those committees, and the first is going to be events. It's going to be run by you, Greg.
Yep, sure is.
I'm going to focus on our bowling event, which is coming up in a week and a half.
Yep, sign up.
Yeah, sign up.
Please.
Just at least say you're coming, so Tim doesn't freak out. Because
I want 50. We're at 33.
The stress is high.
We'll get people.
We'll get at least 10 the day out.
Yeah, I know. I'm not worried. So, but the bowling, he'll be doing golf outing and all-star game this year. Three huge events that we want to continue to get bigger and continue to really reflect what our league's about. So,
maybe we'll move away from Oak Knoll.
Come on, Greg. It's
fake news.
Fake news.
Dawn hooks us up.
That's true.
Shotgun for us.
You cannot find anywhere else where you have a family of a bunch of men and wife beaters golfing and just taking a piss in the 7th fairway. Come on. There's nowhere else.
So Greg's gonna head the events. That's gonna be a huge part of our league. It's a big part, and there's a couple guys on that committee that's gonna help out. So our next is media, and Matt Dykstra is gonna lead that for us. He ran our social media last year. He's kind of getting away from that, and he's going to focus on overall media and really focus on our videos and highlight videos in this upcoming year. And there's a couple guys, Jordan Mosel, who's going to do some YouTube stuff.
Eglin's best.
There's Kyle Reinhout, who's came out with his first article. What's that called again? Tea Time with the Tapper, right?
Yeah, Tea Time. I really enjoyed that first article that he put out.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
I loved it.
Go check it out on our new website.
I kind of had to bug him over and over to get it out. I hope that's not going to be an issue this year, but I think that he realized that he did a good job. I think he was kind of nervous, and I think he realized he did a good job, and everyone enjoyed it. So I think that'll push him to do them more frequently. It was great. The opening paragraph, it led you into it. I mean, so there's going to be some other things with media. Obviously, Jared, he did a bunch of logos for us this year, and that part of the media. I'm trying to think if there's any other parts. Oh, the biggest part of the media is something me and Greg are going to be working on is our games. Like Caleb said, will be broadcast live, and that's going to be a huge part of our media. So, the other committee that we got going on is grounds. Sam Stahl is going to lead that. That's the biggest thing that no one sees, and it's just pretty much doing maintenance on the fields, upgrades on the field. So, he's doing a couple things for some sponsorships next year for waters and pizza and stuff. So look forward to that. Outreach, and which is sponsors and outreach, will be led by Alex Friedman, who I feel like has been a big part of us this last year, and dealing with Caleb and Alex have been a great partnership through Orball and everything that's worked for the benefit of both leagues this year. And I feel like he can help us out. He already got us in touch with an attorney about us going nonprofit, and we're looking forward to what that'll bring for us this upcoming year. And then finally, our last one will be recruitment, and Eric Detmar is going to lead that. He's got a bunch of guys working under him to focus on high school, college, and my age, the old gents. And I think he's
the grandparents.
The grandparents, and I think having one guy lead all these this year will be a lot less. I can focus in where the focus needs to be. Like, for example, with the events coming up, me, Caleb, and Brett could all help Greg out and when the events are up. And I think it's just going to be a great addition this year. So
yeah, I like the idea of the committees. It puts a little more focus and it gets more people helping out, I think. And I think he'll be looking a lot better on game day for a lot of different things, and hopefully not having to be in the committee chair. I mean, I know I'm going to rely on like Caleb a lot for like that golf outing, but it's good to have that, like people that have done it before, but also kind of uncomfortableness of some things.
Oh, yeah. And this league's got a ton of this is one thing why this league succeeded and it's gotten so big, is this league is full of people that have passion, and then they have skill sets. And it's finding the right skill sets for the people in our league, and something they want to do that's fun for them, and it's not mandatory. They want to do it. Everyone on the committee wants to do it.
Right. So. That's what I was going to say. It's going to make it so much better this year, is because, last year from a board perspective, we had so much that we had to do, and it seemed like 4 or 5 people were always picking up slack on some things, and it wasn't necessarily that people didn't want to do stuff, but it just wasn't their strength. So with how we went about this decision to make these committees, it was all volunteer-based. So we put out a survey for everyone in the league, and you only volunteered and signed up for the things that you wanted to do, and then it was a selection process. So, one, it's going to be better. I think there's going to be more results because people are going to be able to focus on the things they like and are good at, like you said. But also it's easier to hold people accountable because you can't hold someone accountable that isn't good at something or that isn't their strength. But if they volunteer and sign up for it, it'll be much easier to get things done and be able to move things along. So it absolutely was a good idea. And going forward, I think the sky's the limit for these committees, because if people really are bought into what they're doing, the sky's the limit. So,
yeah, and I wanted to say with Friedman being a part of leading our outreach and stuff like that, and was he
the sponsor?
The sponsorship. Yeah, okay, yeah, because he has a lot of connections. Like, I want to give a special shout out to him because he put me in talks with Matt Lipke, who did my design, and also for Jared did his design too. So
okay. For the team, for the normal
for my narwhals and for the Badgers. Yeah, so I mean that's just what Alex brings, and I thought that was a good thing. I wanted to mention it because I love my logo. You know.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think next, in the order of things, as Tim exits, he'll be coming back in a little bit. We're gonna move on to. We're going to move on to an interesting topic. Now, last year there was a mock draft between Tim and Greg. Went really, really well.
Greg's an owner, and
Greg's
Tim's
an owner,
so
and Tim's an owner, and everyone here. You're going to hear from the sheriff. You're going to hear from the egg.
We got a mini owners meeting.
Yeah. We got 6 owners here, so we thought a mock draft wouldn't be fair to these guys. So we're gonna model this a little differently. We're gonna play a little game, and we're gonna get people in and out of this. It's gonna be called For Sure, Iffy, and Surprise. So each person that comes on, Greg and I are gonna be in every round. But between Mosel, Warner, Tim, and Jared, they're gonna switch out between rounds 1, 2, and 3. We're each gonna talk about and give a little insight to one pick we think for sure is gonna happen in the round that's going on, an iffy pick, so a pick that could slide in, a pick that could slide out, or a surprise pick, one that people may not expect to be in the first round for a good or bad reason. So let's hop right into it. First, I want to introduce our first 2 guests, Aglin's best, Jordan Mosel, and Purdue Northwest cross-country coach, the future of running, Austin Warner. Guys, how are you doing?
Doing well, Caleb and Greg. Thanks for having me to today's show.
Yeah, good to be here, Caleb. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, right on. Greg, what do you got?
For what? How I feel about these guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Welcome to my show. Anyway, let's get on to first round. I'll talk about my for sure first. I took an easy route because I think everyone else is going to talk about some other picks. I'm going to talk about John Gibson a little bit. I think for sure lockdown. If he's not taking the top 2, I don't know what's going on. I mean, the thing with him is always, commitment. Is he going to be committed? Is he going to be wanting to play for his owner after a while? But he's not even signed up. But I think that may be a sign of things. But we can get into that later. But yeah, I think John's a for sure lock for me. So I don't know what else to say about him. Great 2-way player. He's one of the best pitchers out there available because, now Eric's an owner. So it's just, so that's mine. Anybody else?
Egg, what do you got?
Scramble it up.
I'd say my for sure pick is Jeremiah Wiltjer. It's a little bit of a
saucy
risk, I would say, just because there was a few times last year.
So then it's a for sure pick?
It is a for sure pick, though. He's definitely going first round. He just has too good of a skill set to make up for any inconsistency of him coming.
Okay, Warner?
I was kind of going back and forth with this one, but my for sure is Jack Hilligans. The guy's a big bat. He's got a really crisp swing, good face. I think that he will, is a for sure fill. I think he's the number 3 most expensive player in this draft. But, it's a league of hitting. He can hit the fast pitches, and he could hit those dingers, especially on those slow pitches. So he's my for sure first round pick.
True. I'll close out the first round. My for sure pick is Lucas Miedema. Kind of burst onto the scene last year. Didn't have an overwhelming year, but then again, he only played, half the season? Yeah. So Lucas went with us at Nationals, and if one thing rings true in Leroy, it's that over time you do get better, unless you're Tim on the mound. But no, I'm kidding. But Lucas is going to have a breakout year. I think Lucas is going to surprise a lot of people with his ability. I think Lucas is a for sure first-round pick. And we'll transition right into the iffies. First round, my iffy pick is going to be Andrew Sitter. Last year, had a really underwhelming year, I think, from a lot of
last year, what, number 2 pick last year?
Yeah, the number 2 pick. you know, when you're going through the mindset of a player like that who is playing so well, is he going to want to come back? Is he going to want to invest, or is he going to be pissed off and is that going to make him press? I think there's a lot of variables with Sitter. Could very well come back that he's an all Leroy selection, but it could be that he gets worse. So there's no way to tangibly say what way Sitter's going to go. That's why he's my iffy pick for first round. Is someone willing to take a risk? What do you got, Greg?
Well, iffy pick, I think it's Sam Stahl. Just because I think he is a first round talent, but I don't know if he's going to make it there just because of the way the draft's going to work out and salaries and you know, with you're taking like probably a third round pick in the first, so it kind of puts everything
Fourth
back.
round pick.
Yeah. Traffic cones. Yeah, so that would be my iffy just because, I mean, I don't know if he's going to get in there because of just kind of the talent. Like you said, I mean, if somebody wants to take a chance on Sitter at the end of that first round, I mean, that's going to be a great value if they think they want to take that risk. So,
let's throw it over to Warner. What you got?
My iffy first-round pick would have to be Lucas Miedema. I know Caleb mentioned him being a for-sure pick, and yeah, he is a hell of a player. The kid's a tool shed. He has all the tools to be one of the best players in the league. You know, on the mound, he's a worm killer. He induces a lot of ground balls, and hell of a pitcher. But sometimes, you know, he can bite off more than you can chew. You know, his attendance was kind of sporadic. If he can show up on a weekly basis, I would say he's a for sure. But with his attendance record, who knows? You know, with his work schedule and everything, he's a busy guy. That's why I'm giving him in the iffy section.
Okay, valid. Mosel, what do you got?
My iffy player is going to be Wes Ellis. Obviously, Wes is very talented. When he's pitching, like he throws the gas, man, and he can also hit pretty good. As we've seen, he was in, you know, Maytown Cup, or whatever it's called. I forgot the name of it. Hometown. That's it.
Maytown. Mayflower?
Hopped on the Mayflower. Big Pilgrim guy.
But the only problem with Wes is that he lives up in, who knows where he lives. Is it Sheboygan? I don't even know.
Chippewa Falls.
Yeah.
There's
Chippewa
only
Falls.
so many times you can make
Shout
that
out to
joke,
Goodman's.
Egg.
Shout out to
Shout out to Goodman's. You know, it's a hell of a place to work, I've heard. But, yeah, so Wes's commitment issues are the reason that I give him on my iffy pick list.
Okay. Well, that closes out round one for your for sure iffy and surprise.
No.
Oh, that doesn't.
Didn't do surprise, bro.
You see what I did there?
Surprise.
I surprised you.
Yeah.
So, as
It
we move
wasn't
into our
that good of a
surprise
surprise.
picks, come on, Greg. Just play along with it, okay? Come on. We're going to move into Warner. Warner, I want to hear your surprise pick. I think it's going to surprise us all.
This may come to a surprise to many. That's why it's a surprise. And I'm going with Quinn.
Oh,
In
Laugh
the
now.
first.
The guy is only worth 22
come
bucks.
on.
The guy can hit. He's slicker than
fake
snot
news.
in a doorknob, guys. He is improved a lot over the time, and he is only worth 22 bucks. You know, there's especially some of those owners who have a high salary cap. His attendance is great. He showed up every week, so you don't have to worry about him not being there if he continues his attendance like he did last season. And as you guys said, you know, more and more you play, the better you get, and I think he will develop into being a pretty solid player.
Yeah. I could definitely see Quinn being a surprise pick. He was on the liners, and from the time he started and the time he ended, he did get dramatically better. So I think Quinn could slide into the first round, especially with the new rules on attendance, and maybe we should say that before we move on for everyone. Owners are going to get penalized for not having, for the first 5 weeks, 3 out of their 4 players there. So if someone drafts a team, or there are a few owners that draft a team that's going to be iffy if they're going to come, owners that have full teams coming are going to get salary boosts, which could help for free agents. So attendance is placed on a premium in the first few weeks, and I think that's why Quinn could slide into the first round. I'll move into my surprise really quickly. Now, I think Austin Gibson is going to be a first-round pick no matter what. The surprise aspect is where he's going to go. I'm going to make a bold statement and say Austin Gibson will be a top 5 pick. And here's why. Last year when he came, he was dominant. He hit the ball really, really well. And one thing I know about Austin Gibson is that if he puts his mind to something, he's very good. I think at one point, his sophomore year of high school, he was like the number 3 or number 4 rated team deathmatch COD player in the nation. Now, he had like a 1.1 GPA, so there was that. But at the same token, when Austin puts his mind to something, he's very good. I think Austin could be all Leroy selection, and I would not be surprised, and I know many people would be, if Austin was a top 5 pick. Greg, what do you got?
Let's throw it to the egg real quick.
Back to the egg.
All right, my surprise pick was originally going to be Austin Gibson, but now I think I even have a better one. My surprise pick is going to be Ryan Barnes.
Oh,
Come
Ryan
on.
Barnes.
Former slider.
At Matt Dykstra, your thoughts?
I kind of have a soft spot for Ryan. He was on my team for most of last year. I think he's a really good, solid, especially hitter. He's got some areas to work with on the mound. He did get better towards the end of last year, but he's under $30 on his salary, so I feel like he's a great budget pick, especially. Plus, also he shows up every week, so
True.
I feel like he's gonna sneak in there.
It's great insight from the egg. Greg, round out round 1.
Oh man, I was making egg go because I'm still like not sure about surprises. Because I mean, if you want to say who do I think would be a surprise, and I'd probably walk out of the room. That's what I'm gonna go with. Okay. If Ben Huff got drafted in the first round, that would probably make me walk out the door.
The Huffinator.
I just probably, I don't know. I just walk out. And
Would
be
you
like,
walk
okay,
out
I'm
quicker
done.
than the ball he hit off you?
No.
I'm kidding.
Such a check.
He would have sent it. Huff sent
Anyway.
it.
Huffinator.
I agree.
So-
Huff would be a very surprising round 1 pick.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's going to be a good first round fit.
No, but it would be very surprising.
There's a 0% chance Huff goes number. He's not playing this year. He lives in Chicago.
He'll make his way out.
He
somehow.
signed up for like 6 weeks,
He
dude.
did not.
Yeah, he did.
Did he really?
If
Yeah.
Friedman promises him a starting spot on the Maple City Magic, Huff will go anywhere. He will get on a plane to Arizona. He will bobsled through
Go
the
to spring
Alaskan
training.
tundra. He does not care. He
I
will
just-
show up with a 12-pack of Miller Lite and say, "I'm ready to play. Put me behind the plate."
I want to go to his apartment. I hear it's huge.
Oh my goodness, you could. I don't know what you
Throw
could
a
fit in there.
kegger in there.
My goodness. All right.
I want
Pony
some
keg.
picks. Let me do some
All right.
picks.
Okay. So we're going to transition into round 2.
Yep.
Egg and Warner will be back. Now we bring in two of the biggest characters in Leroy. We've got Sheriff in an Illiana basketball shirt tucked into some sweatpants with 2 chains. Sheriff, how goes it?
How you doing? Glad to be on Going Corn again.
Yeah. And then we have the commissioner whose pants are unbuckled at the moment. I don't know why.
And may I
Tim
say
Wiltjer.
something before Tim talks? Sheriff, you had one of the highest rated interviews ever on Going Corn, even though there's only been like one interview. But
What can I say?
everyone
I'm a
loved
popular guy.
the interview.
Pretty sure that was the only interview we've
Yeah.
ever had.
But
It doesn't matter.
everyone loved it. You loved it, Tim. You
It was
know
a
that.
sausage party. I was crying.
Yes.
All right. Well, because you're so highly rated, Sheriff, give us your for sure pick for round 2.
My for sure pick for round 2, I'm going to have to go with my man, former Badger Alex Friedman. We've been talking lately. He has some weaknesses in areas. Pitching is one of them. We discussed it. Attendance, he's working on it. But I'm a person who looks at the batting. He brings a big bat to the plate. He's coming through some tough situations for me and came through.
Big bat.
Thank you for that. But for a second round, makes him second round is his pitching ability. If he keeps working on it like he's been talking to me about it, he'll for sure be a high second round pick for me.
Yeah, I agree. Alex is a for sure second rounder. Could sneak into the first, but I think that's a really safe pick. Kamish, what do you got?
My man Tapper. He's a for sure second rounder.
Tap.
For sure. Listen, this guy will be at every single game. Don't know if Rizzy will be there, the league mascot. He might, not sure. Kyle will be there, and he's ready to put. He's ready to tap. Listen, I signed him last year. He had a 6 home run game. Not many people can say they've done that in Leroy. I don't care. Wind blowing out. Oh, you stroke yourself. 6 homers. 6 homers.
I thought I had 2 6-homer games against the
All right,
Truckers
well,
last year.
No,
I had a couple
that's
too.
fake news. I love the Tapper. He's working on Ephus pitch. I hope he gets better with his pitching because it's obviously his only fault. But huge player, always comes. big hitter in big games. When he feels chemistry with the team, it gets him going, and he's a big amp guy. He'll get in your face. He trash talks, and
big amp guy.
That's what Leroy's about, man.
So my for sure second round pick, and this is a tough one because if he was coming consistently, he'd be a top 3 pick. It's going to be Kyle Jansma. Obviously, he's having some circumstances right now with life. Congrats on the kid, Kyle. It's going to be sad not having you around as much, but now that you got the kid going on and everything, you're going to go into the second round. I know that there are people in the second round that aren't going to pass up on you, but for sure you'll be a second round pick. And I will say this, if a team that's making a pick lower in the second round picks up Kyle Jansma, that could be really, really deadly for that team. From an attendance perspective, all you need is 3 at first, and if you can weather the storm until Kyle can get back consistently, that could be really effective.
Are we in iffies already, or what are we?
No, for sure picks of the second round.
Oh, you had Janspa for sure?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Greg?
Let's see your thoughts, Greg.
For sure, I'm going to go with an Orville guy.
Ooh.
Jeremy Ross.
Ooh.
He's been showing a lot of interest to the owners, and I think he'll sneak up there. I know a lot of people will probably, pass on him, but I think he'll be in the second round for sure at some point, just due to probably where he's at in the draft in terms of salary. But I think that his commitment will be what puts him over other people in a lot of owners' minds. So
he actually asked me to be an owner this year.
Yeah, I think he's very committed. I think he will be showing up plenty. I think he'll be good. So yeah, for sure. Jeremy Ross, round 2.
Or will his newly acquired ownership of a team in Orable, the Triple Crown, affect his attendance?
Still will not beat the Magic.
I don't think so. I mean, he's shown a commitment by wanting to and I think he wants to foster the relationship in Leroy so he can get people for his team.
He's DM'd me a good 5 or 6 times asking for names of players that could go. I gave him
if he built a relationship with some of our guys and gets some, win-win for everyone.
I told him Alex Men is ready. Okay? Alex Men is ready. Okay.
What are we moving on to? Iffy?
Iffy. So why don't you get a started commission, your Iffy pick of the second round?
Oh, Greg decided to shut my phone off. Thanks, Greg.
Excuses.
Also, Monco is available.
That was actually Caleb.
I got my Iffy second round.
Drum roll, please.
I'm going to have to say Elijah Richardson. He's
his daughter.
He's coming. He says he's coming back this year. He actually had a really good pitch. He had some good movement. Hitting was a thing to adjust to fast hitting is a tough thing for our league, and obviously just coming in the first year, you struggle to adapt to our rules, to our system, to that thing. But I think Elijah is gonna be a great second round pick for a team as he goes into his first full season, and I hope with getting on a team in the second round that it'll push him to be a better player this year. So I want to see some we have sort of a bubble here of players that have grown up together that I know. I've known everyone that played the first 3 years, and there's a lot of people that have come in the league, and Elijah is one of them that I haven't known. And I've met through any source, whether it be Google, anything like that. And I really want to keep pushing that throughout the league because people like Elijah and Quinn are going to be an asset to us moving forward.
Listen, he's absolutely right. I think the big thing with this league is value. You have to look for value in the draft. Elijah's low salary. Elijah has a lot of upside, and Elijah's one of those guys that you're not worried about college, you're not worried about those other things. So Elijah is going to be somebody that could sneak up on you in the second round, and if he can pitch the ball, I think he could be a big asset to anybody on a team. So I'll move into my Iffy for the second round. Grant Reinhout. At first, everyone thinks that he's going to be a for sure third rounder, but I don't think so. There were stretches.
No chance. I'll take him second.
You'll take him second round?
If he's in second round, I'll take him second.
Yeah. He showed flashes last year on the mound that that looked like he was starting to understand it. He went away from the underhand pitch altogether. Thank you. That's very good because those are just insta-homers. But with the strike zones, Grant's commitment is getting higher and higher, and I think he'll be a really good asset if he makes it into the second round for a team. Now, I do have a question, though, for you, Commissioner. What was the process for taking Grant out of ownership again? Wasn't that voted on? Or
no.
Was that just an
Grant,
insta-boot?
I actually wanted Grant to be an owner again, and he came to me and said he was interested in getting into the draft and being just a player this year and see that side aspect leave. And I respect that. I respect it a lot.
Me too.
I think he could thrive doing that, and it's something he could do for a year and get right back in ownership. No, I respect Grant a lot. I give him a lot of shit. He gives me a lot of shit back. So he's a good dude.
Sheriff, your thoughts? Who's your round 2 iffy?
My round 2 iffy has to go out to Brad Kamstra. He has a lot of potential. I played a lot against him. Thank you. Okay. I played a lot against him a couple times against Tim's team, the Truckers. Wasn't the best performance because he was with Tim.
All right.
The sidearm slinger.
Yeah, true. But if you give him some time and some work, I think Brad could raise his potential up and become a staple player in Leroy.
A staple player in Leroy. So you're saying Nationals team appearance?
Let's now push it.
You mean staple like committed?
Committed.
Like a Sam
core
Stahl
player.
Like a Sam Stahl that shows up every week.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
I think he could. He's got a Nick Feeney-esque pitch that could be dirty next year. Let's just put that out there.
Moving on. Greg, what's your iffy pick?
Iffy for the second round.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go Neil. Good friend of mine. Just because.
Hot topic.
Wow.
He was a champ last year, but
Let's not talk about this.
sorry, Jared. But I think he has a lot of potential, a lot of skill, but the problem is he's only going to show up half of the weeks. And does somebody want to take a chance on that? Plus the salaries. So I think he won't be looked at in probably until the late end of the second round. And there's not a lot of people that have enough salary. Besides like me, Warner, and Tim. So I don't know. We'll see.
Ain't taking him.
So that's why I say he's just iffy. He's a great talent, but I just don't know if the circumstances will allow him to move into that second round. So yeah.
Very good. Now, our last one and probably the most fun category we have is the surprise picks
Whoa.
of round 2. Sheriff, surprise us with something.
This is going to come as a little bit of a shocker.
I'm already about to shock something.
Come on, Sheriff, be electric.
My shocker, Aaron Barnes.
Ooh. Okay.
Aaron's got that. He won't
Top 5 fielder.
He won't blow you away with his pitching. Let's just say he's got that mean, slow stuff. You know, I've had a few whiffs on it. Looks like a big old meatball out there, but you just take a hack and it goes right by you. So
There's some games that he's been the best player in the field, and it blows my mind. Like
Absolutely false.
he's no, he
Absolutely.
has.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
No,
The
Aaron is,
best player on the field.
yes, absolutely.
Collectively, between
Yes.
both teams. There is no way in
Okay,
hell.
listen. Aaron Barnes.
I will not accept this.
Aaron Barnes is like me. He looks unathletic, but he can wow you. And let me tell you
looks
something.
nothing like
when
you.
has been the last time you wowed us, Tim?
Oh, I'm gonna wow
doesn't
you
have
next
the
year when I
beer
hold
belly,
that chip.
Tim.
Say we've all seen the beer gut lately. It's
Yeah,
pretty.
come on. Come on. Okay, continue. I'll let you finish your point for the viewers.
Oh, my point.
Yeah, your point. I already finished my
Yes.
point.
Yeah,
You.
listen, Aaron. I think Aaron's gonna be.
Again, can I restate? Aaron Barnes, at one point, has been the best player on the field, including both teams.
Okay.
Resembles Tim
8
apparently
players.
too.
Listen, you guys are hard on people. I think Aaron's got a. He says he might have a job this year. I'm hoping he comes. He's a fun time. I love both the Barnes. They need to be more. Ryan came and he was very vocal. Got in Matt's face, and I love that. I love that. I feel like Aaron can do that too. But both are great.
Listen. I'm not. Sheriff is right. I think Aaron is a surprise second-round pick. Absolutely. Aaron has the ability to pitch well at times, and if he stays true to his role, he could be a very, very good second-round pick. The best player on the
Greg,
field.
you're surprised? What's your surprise?
Aaron has just got to improve his hitting. That's all. You know. His pitching is decent, but he just needs to improve his hitting if he wants to get in that second round category.
Okay, Greg. Iffy.
Surprise.
Surprise,
You're
you're
on the wrong thing.
Surprise me.
We're on surprise, dude.
Surprise me like you never surprised me before, Greg.
Surprise, Greg. What's your surprise?
My surprise is going to be Grant. As we mentioned before, his potential showed a little bit of improvement last year, and I think not being an owner will help him. I think he gets stressed out a little bit being an owner, so I think it'll be good to kind of for him to take a step back and try and do things, just play, just show up and play. So I think he'll be a good second-round pick for somebody.
My surprise is Micah Hescott. Not specifically for performance, but for attendance. I think he's going to be a player that
definitely not performance.
No, a guy with 2 studs looks for and says and knows that he's going to attend. He's looking for things to do. He's been at the Ballers almost every week. He's looking for things to do, ways to stay involved, and I think he's going to be a player that if you draft him, you can get him to show up, and I think he'll fit the second-round role really well.
And he's coming in the draft, so.
Right. Tim, your surprise?
I think my surprise... I have not, Greg. Are you trying to rush me?
Take your time, Tim.
Jake Van Buren. High second-round surprise, if not
Really?
first. I think Jake is a... Listen, he's like me. I mean, a lot of players are like me out there,
Once again.
Very inconsistent.
I think you can only really compare me and you, and yeah, that's about it.
I'm comparing me and Jake. We are both...
I have a better
Greg and Jim
salary
are
than
now
you.
compatible.
Tim.
Oh, that's because I
Uh-oh.
tanked, so I
We're
can get
getting
better
into
players
this.
this year.
Oh,
Anyways,
he did the
Jake Van Buren has... You guys watched this in the series with, I believe, was it the Ovens? I don't remember what series.
Greg's awfully quiet
talking.
over there now.
But
The
Jake Van
Ovens.
Buren lit the Ovens up from the mound. His batting is awful. I'll be straight honest with you. It sucks. It's almost Sam Stahl-esque. But his pitching can be
I'll
deadly.
be bashing on my boy Sam now.
Sam has led the league in strikeouts for the last 2 seasons. And mostly those strikeouts came from slow pitch.
That is also
He
true.
does swing at them like he has a sword.
Sam, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
But yeah, Jake's my second round surprise, and I think he's gonna. You don't know. He had a pretty injury free season last year. His 2016 campaign, we saw golf cart injuries,
Ice hockey
boating
injuries.
incidents,
boning incidents.
dislocated knees.
So that's my pick.
I agree. He could be a second round. I mean, you're right about the pitching, though. There have been times where he's just 3 strikes on the board, and you don't even know what happened. And then he'll give up 3 in 1 inning, 25 pitch homers. So I don't know what to say about that. That's just doesn't even. I can't comprehend that in 25 pitches you can't hit a board from 30 feet away 3 times. But
Done it. He could tell you.
come on, Sheriff.
Wow.
Sheriff thrown under the bus. Okay.
Is Austin and Jordan coming back?
Tim, Sheriff, yes, we're gonna get
It's been real going, Corn.
back, and we're gonna get Warner here. So we're gonna quick move into round 3, and then we're gonna
Greg.
take a break. Tim, Sheriff, thank you for your contributions,
Hey, Greg.
and we're gonna bring back Jordan and Mr. Austin Warner. You still with us, gentlemen?
Yep, right here.
Absolutely.
Very good. So we're gonna move into round 3. We're going to start with the for sure pick. I'll get it going. My for sure pick of round 3 is Ben Huff. Now, if someone doesn't take Ben Huff in this draft, I'm going to be upset. Listen, you get this guy thinking that he's going to be a starter, and you can take him around the mall and back. I had Huff offering me a dinner at Trump Tower, tickets to a Cubs game, and drinks just to be a part of the liners. The kid wants to be involved. The kid wants to be a part of a team. And listen, he's not asking to be the stud. He's not asking to be the star. He just wants that third action. He wants to be the third pitcher. He wants to be the guy that, does the dirty work for you. So Ben Huff is going to be a for sure third-round pick. Above all else, you'll know he wears some pretty dope sunglasses. So that's why Ben Huff is my for sure third-round pick. Greg, who do you got? Let's go Egg first. Egg, who do you got? For sure third round pick. You were ready?
Go ahead, Egg. Scramble us up a pick.
My for sure third round pick is going to be Brad Kamstra. I feel that he's at a decent price where it's gonna he's gonna be picked up by someone looking to round the roster who's needs a consistent player to come every week, and I think Brad fits the bill just fine.
Good stuff, Warner.
This may come as a surprise to many, but there are rumors circulating the Purdue Northwest bubble that John Newcomb will be returning to Leroy Wiffle Ball. He had a very short season due to master's coursework, so he wasn't able to make many Wednesday nights. But when he was present, he had a good start. He was hitting
1-0 with the liners.
1-0 with the liners, undefeated. Not many guys can say that.
True.
So we'll see where he lies in his, where he's going to be. He just graduated, so we got to see if he's going to be around the area. But if he is, he's definitely one of those players who would be a hell of a third-round pick. If that's your last pick and you pick up John Newcomb, there's a lot worse picks out there that you can choose.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping he comes back and he's around. But I think if he does and he's committed, he's for sure going to be a third-round pick. He might even sneak into the late second round.
Yep. Greg?
For sure, third-round pick. I'm going to go with Aaron Barnes. I like his upside with just coming all the time and being there, but I think he's just gonna stay there in the third round. I will think obviously he's gonna get drafted. I think he should. We have a lot more players this year, and a lot more teams. So I think this will help him be on a team every week and not be on the otters all the time. So.
Absolutely. So we're going to move into the iffy third-round picks.
Oh, I got a good one for this.
You do? Well, then get us started.
Yeah. Iffy third round, Ryan Barnes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not saying he's slipping into another round either. So
that was
my
for sure first round.
Wow.
Pick.
Yeah.
Matt wasn't your thoughts.
Yeah, Matt wasn't the only one. They got a little upset there at the end. So just a little jab. Can't wait to play against you this year, Ryan. It's going to be fun.
Greg, are you bringing emotion into the workplace?
No, not at all. I'm just throwing a little jab. A little fun jab. Not mean.
I see it. I respect it. I mean, with what I did to Althoff, he's never coming back to Leroy. So
yeah, see, at least I'm not that bad, man. You tore the dude apart just for wearing a normal outfit.
No, it was the cell phone. He probably had Virgin Mobile. I don't know what he was doing trying to text in the outfield. Okay. Warner, who do you got for your iffy third-round pick?
My iffy third-round pick, I'm going to have to go with my buddy Neil.
Oh.
Just due to, he's got a lot going on. Pretty athletic guy. Also has a big bat. You know what I mean? But he, his attendance is kind of spotty. And I get that. This is, just my second year in the league. I know he's been around for a while, but towards the end of the year, he wasn't able to show up because of softball. If you can't show up, with the new attendance policy that we have in place for this league, it's kind of an iffy pick to pick him up. If he's going to show up every week, I see him getting drafted second round. But if he's not going to be around, I know he's a defending champ. But if you're not going to show up, there's going to be other players out there that are going to be more durable, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Egg?
My iffy pick is going to be Grant Reinhout. I can see Grant going either low second round or even high third round. I can see going high second round too, honestly. I got Grant all over the board. I feel like a lot of people give him a lot of crap a lot of times, but he comes every week. He obviously cares about the league. He was a previous owner, so I can see him going either way, honestly.
Yeah, my iffy third round pick is going to be Sam Grimala. Listen. We were talking about this earlier. Swing path is just pure. Okay, when she gets her hands through the zone, it's just as pretty as anyone we've seen. Maybe Ashby-esque. I don't know. One thing I think is underrated about Grimala is her pitching. She has a great ability to throw the ball right over the plate.
ERA of 80 isn't bad.
If you want the ball to be contacted, you need Grimala on the mound. Okay, she's a pitch to hit goddess.
She's a worm killer. She induces a lot of ground balls.
I'm telling you, she puts the ball in play. So, you know what? I'm going to go with Gramala, and then I'll transition right
can't
into
even
my
handle
surprise
you.
third-round pick. You can't handle me. Why not?
Oh.
Someone's going to take Gramala.
No.
Come on.
You.
Greg.
Yeah, you.
No. You want to know who I'm going to take for my third-round pick? It's also my
Ashby.
surprise is John Monco, okay? Now, I'm telling you,
Come
Monco,
on.
Monco has the ability to do some great things for me this year. Considering my first 2 picks are going to put me above the salary cap, I'm going to pick Monco and force Tim to DQ me as a manager. We're going to see what he does because I'm not going to deal with having Ashby or Gramala trying to trade for them. At this point, I'd probably take a coupon for Strax in that deal. So, John Monco is going to be my surprise pick. He's never played, probably never will, but I might
Probably
pick him
never
up.
has lived.
No, Monco's real. Don't live into the hype,
not.
Greg. Come on. Monco's real. Warner, who do you got for your surprise
Oh,
pick?
Caleb, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Dear Lord, not this again.
No, Monko's a great guy. The guy's full of beans. He's full of energy. I know he moved to Arkansas, but I guess there's like a Minion museum that he goes to a lot, and he works at now. So he's been living out there, but
Okay.
How is his rabbit doing?
This
after eating
is
a Hershey's
my
bar?
show, and I'm saying we're
how's-
stopping this.
it's
Stop
actually
it.
it's doing quite well. He's doing a good job.
Jordan.
I'm not done, but no, my actual surprise pick. I'm gonna go with Wiz. Honestly,
thank you.
I think he's gonna go. I think hopefully, if he's around third round, I'm gonna snag him right away. But he might sneak a late second. But if he's around the third round early, I'm gonna grab him. And I think a lot of other owners would say the same. No, he's a great teammate to have, and he's just someone fun to have around. So I think, and it will be his second year playing at Leroy. So I think he would definitely be a steal for early in the third round. So I'm gonna go with my boy Wiz.
Right on. Mosel, who's your surprise?
All right, so this is gonna be a pretty big shock, I feel, but my surprise is gonna be Neil Kruzwick.
Ooh.
And I say that only just because he's had a lot going on, and I feel like he's just gonna somehow go off the radar and just drift in that third round and be a good snag for anyone looking for a solid player.
Absolutely. Greg, does that cover it all?
Yeah, I don't even have a surprise pick at this
Come
point.
on, Greg. Come on.
There's not even.
There's got to be someone that's going to
Someone
surprise
out
you
there.
if they drop to the third round.
I just can't after the Monco talk.
Oh,
No, Jake Van Buren.
yeah.
Just be surprised if he makes it to the third round. I think that'd be a good pick for any team. So 4th pick, Jake Van Buren. That'd be a solid team, I think. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I think that rounds it out. We're gonna take a little break. We've been talking for a while, so and then we're gonna come wrap it up just with a few short things.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you on the other side.
And we're back. We've got a few quick announcements to finish out Going Corn. We had a really good episode so far. The first we're going to talk about is the Hall of Fame. If you haven't seen the results, it was me versus Brett for the final. I ended up winning. I just want to say thank you to everyone who voted me in for that. I really appreciate it. Spend a lot of time and really contribute and do it for you guys as much as I do it for myself as well. So big shout out and big thank you to you guys for voting me into that. It's a big honor. I really appreciate it. So the next big announcement we want to make is that our bowling event is in 6 days. We're going to get this episode out decently quick. If you're hearing this, sign up.
That's the hope.
Understanding how Leroy operates, we don't charge a player fee. We don't charge to play, so these fundraisers are a big source of income for us, and to meet the goals we want to be able to have for the year from not only playing perspective, but from a maintenance perspective, and for making Leroy a really good experience. These fundraisers are huge for us. So if you yourself can't make it and you like to contribute financially, or if you know someone that would love to come along, we welcome anyone to come check us out. Bowling events and these fundraising events are a good way to meet people in the league. Super non-informal way to get involved. So If you're interested at all, you can get in contact with anybody pertinent and major in the league. Greg, me, Tim, Jared, Mosel, Warner, anybody. Send them a message, and they'll be ready to go. We're going to also announce right now how we're going to be doing shows going forward for this year. So we have now a legitimate Leroy podcast network. We've got Going Corn, which you're hearing right now. That's going to come every week, come closer to the season. But we're also going to have 2 shows going every other week. It's going to be Fireside Chat, where we talk about pressing issues. We bring up drama. We try and stir the pot a little bit. And then we have the Strike Zone. And that's more of a PTI style show where Eric and Brett Detmar go back and forth with each other and talk about relevant issues to the league. So wrapping it up, I just want to thank you for listening to this episode. For me, my co-host Greg.
Yep.
It was a great podcast. So we'll see you.
We'll see you next time. This has been Going Corn.